If you walk into a traditional home in Kyoto, or even a modern apartment in the heart of Tokyo, the first thing you will notice isn't what is there, but what isn't. The air feels lighter. The spaces between objects seem to breathe. For decades, the Western world has looked at this aesthetic and called it minimalism, treating it as a design trend or a strict philosophy of deprivation. We imagine a life of empty white rooms and counted possessions, but if you talk to the people who actually live in these spaces, you discover something entirely different. It isn't about owning nothing, it is about a deep, culturally ingrained understanding of how physical objects influence human psychology, energy, and behavior. In Japan, the home is not viewed merely as a storage container for your life, but as an extension of your mind. This raises a fascinating question. What if the secret to a calm, focused, and purposeful life isn't about what you add to your home, but what you actively refuse to let inside? Behavioral psychologists have long known that our environments constantly send silent cues to our brains. Every object we see carries a mental tax, demanding our attention, triggering memories, or generating a subtle baseline of stress. By looking closely at the specific items Japanese people systematically reject from their living spaces, we can unlock a practical framework for our own well-being. These are 10 distinct things that are intentionally kept out of the Japanese home, and the profound psychological reasons why removing them might be the most restorative choice you make for your own space. The first category of items you will rarely find lingering in a Japanese household is footwear worn in the outside world. This practice goes far beyond the obvious desire to keep mud and dust off the floor. In the Japanese architectural and cultural landscape, there is a sacred boundary known as the Genkan. This is the sunken entryway where the outside world ends and the private sanctuary begins. Psychologically, removing your outdoor shoes at the threshold acts as a physical ritual of transition. It is the literal shedding of the day's stress, dust, and external expectations. When you step up into the home, you are stepping into a space dedicated to rest and recovery. Forcing your brain to make this distinct physical shift prevents the chaotic energy of your workplace or the street from bleeding into your place of peace. You can easily adopt this by establishing a strict shoe-free zone right at your front door, creating an immediate psychological buffer between the frantic outside world and your personal sanctuary. Moving further into the living space, you will notice an absence of a common Western staple, the giant, deep-seated, immovable sofa. In many modern homes around the world, the living room is dominated by massive furniture that dictates the flow of the entire room. In contrast, Japanese spaces favor low-profile furniture, floor cushions, or easily movable seating options. The philosophy here centers on flexibility and spatial flow, a concept deeply tied to the idea of ma, or negative space. When a room is anchored by a massive, unyielding object, the space becomes rigid. Psychologically, heavy furniture locks us into static behaviors, often directing all attention toward a television screen. By keeping heavy, single-purpose furniture out of the house, the room remains adaptable. A living space can become a yoga studio, a dining area, or a place for quiet meditation within minutes. To apply this, reconsider the scale of your furniture. Prioritize pieces that can be easily moved, stacked, or repurposed, allowing your physical environment to adapt to your changing daily needs rather than forcing you to adapt to it. Step into a Japanese kitchen, and you will find the next major omission: single-use gadgets and specialized kitchen appliances. You will rarely see a kitchen counter crowded with specialized egg cookers, garlic presses, electric sandwich makers, or oversized food processors that only perform one specific task. Space is at a premium in Japan, which has bred a deep appreciation for high-quality, versatile tools. A single, perfectly balanced chef's knife and a traditional iron pot are preferred over a dozen plastic contraptions. Behavioral researchers find that visual clutter in the kitchen directly correlates with increased cortisol levels and poorer dietary choices. When every surface is crowded with machines, cooking feels like a chore surrounded by maintenance tasks. By refusing to store single-use gadgets, you reclaim your countertops and your mental clarity. The practical lesson is simple. Before buying a tool that only does one thing, ask yourself if a classic, high-quality multi-purpose tool could do the job just as well. The fourth item banned from the intentional home is a collection of backup or transitional clothing. Specifically, those clothes we keep for the day we might lose weight, or items we don't like but downgrade to loungewear. In Japan, clothing is treated with a high level of respect, a reflection of the animistic roots of Shintoism, where even inanimate objects are thought to possess a form of spirit. Keeping clothes that do not fit your current reality creates a subtle, constant stream of negative reinforcement every time you open your closet. It acts as a visual reminder of guilt, unmet expectations, or past versions of yourself. Japanese organization emphasizes keeping only what serves your present life. Loungewear is not treated as a dumpster for ruined clothes. It is chosen intentionally for comfort and relaxation. Clearing out the garments that belong to a hypothetical future or a regretted past frees up physical space and removes an invisible emotional weight from your morning routine. Next, you will notice that Japanese homes do not accumulate mountains of unread paperwork, old newspapers, or expired documents. In the West, it is incredibly common to have a designated junk drawer or a kitchen counter covered in mail, catalogs, and old receipts. In Japan, paperwork is handled with a system of immediate action or disposal. Paper is seen as stagnant energy. From a productivity standpoint, loose paperwork represents delayed decisions. Every unread letter or unfiled tax document is an unfulfilled task crying out for your attention. By refusing to let paper stack up, you eliminate those micro-stressors that drain your cognitive energy throughout the day. You can implement this system by creating a strict one-touch rule for mail and paper entering your home. Either recycle it immediately, file it digitally, or act on it right away. Never let it sit on a flat surface to be dealt with later. Another striking difference is the absence of bulk buy stockpiles. While Western consumers love the thrill of warehouse shopping, buying giant packs of paper towels, dozens of canned goods, or massive boxes of laundry detergent, Japanese shoppers generally buy only what they need for the immediate future. This is partly due to the smaller footprint of Japanese homes, but it also reflects a deeper psychological preference for freshness and mindfulness. Stockpiling shifts your mindset into one of scarcity and hoarding. It encourages overconsumption, because when you have an abundance of something, you tend to use it less carefully. Buying in smaller, deliberate quantities fosters a sense of gratitude for the items you use and keeps your storage spaces completely clear. Try shifting your shopping habits from stocking up for a hypothetical emergency to buying high-quality goods for your immediate, actual needs. The seventh object missing from the serene home is the television as the central focal point of the bedroom. In fact, many traditional or mindfully arranged Japanese homes keep electronics out of the sleeping quarters entirely. The bedroom is treated strictly as a place for sleep, intimacy, and restoration. Sleep hygiene research consistently shows that the presence of screens and blue light emitting devices wreaks havoc on our circadian rhythms and prevents deep, restorative rest. Beyond the biology, there is a psychological boundary at play. When your bed faces a screen, your brain associates that space with stimulation and entertainment rather than profound rest. By refusing to keep entertainment tech in the bedroom, you create a digital sanctuary. You protect the final hours of your day from the endless noise of the outside world, allowing your nervous system to wind down naturally. As you look around the shelves and walls of a Japanese home, you will also notice a lack of purely decorative, meaningless trinkets. You won't find shelves packed with cheap souvenirs from long-forgotten vacations, mass-produced plastic ornaments, or items kept solely because they were gifts. Instead, decor is sparse and deeply intentional, often rotating with the seasons to reflect the concept of shun, the appreciation of the present moment. This aligns with the psychological concept of object attachment. When we fill our homes with items we don't genuinely care about out of obligation or habit, we dilute the meaning of the things we actually love. A single, beautiful vase holding a seasonal flower carries far more emotional resonance than a shelf crowded with dust-gathering ornaments. Take a look at your display surfaces. If an object doesn't tell a meaningful story or bring genuine aesthetic joy, it is simply stealing visual bandwidth. The ninth category of items discarded ruthlessly from Japanese living spaces is anything that is broken, chipped, or damaged beyond easy repair. While the famous art of kintsugi teaches us to repair beloved cracked pottery with gold lacquer, highlighting the beauty of imperfection, it is reserved for items of deep significance. Ordinary items that are broken, stained, or cracked are not hoarded with the intent to fix them someday. They are let go. Keeping damaged items around the house sends a subconscious message to your brain that your environment, and by extension your life, is in a state of disrepair. It breeds a subtle tolerance for mediocrity and neglect. Surrounding yourself only with items that are fully functional and well-maintained elevates your self-esteem and fosters a deeper respect for your daily rituals. If you have a pile of items waiting for a repair that you haven't touched in 6 months, it is time to either fix them this weekend or permanently remove them from your home. Finally, Japanese homes actively reject the accumulation of expired or unused toiletries, cosmetics, and medicine. Bathroom cabinets in many parts of the world are notorious graveyards for half-used shampoo bottles, samples collected from hotels, and cosmetics that didn't quite work out. In Japan, the bathhouse culture and the daily ritual of bathing are seen as acts of purification. The space where you clean your body must itself be immaculately clean and organized. Storing old, expired products directly contradicts this philosophy. Psychologically, visual clutter in the bathroom disrupts your morning and evening transitions. Starting your day with a sense of disorganization by regularly purging these hidden spaces and keeping only the products you use daily, you transform your bathroom from a cluttered storage locker into a calm, spa-like environment that supports your well-being. When we look at these 10 omissions as a cohesive system, we realize that the intentional curation of a home is not an act of self-punishment or a superficial cleaning trend. It is an act of profound self-respect. The Japanese approach to managing a household teaches us that every single object we allow across our threshold enters into a relationship with us. It takes up a piece of our space, a fraction of our time to clean and maintain it, and a portion of our mental energy. When we intentionally refuse to host items that cause stress, trigger guilt, or create physical stagnation, we create space for something much larger to enter. We create room for clarity, for deep rest, and for meaningful focus. Our homes cease to be places where we manage clutter and transform into sanctuaries where we restore our souls. Look around your own living space today. Notice the items that are demanding your attention without giving anything meaningful in return. By choosing to let them go, you are not losing anything at all. You are simply gaining your peace of mind back. Thank you for watching. If this perspective on intentional living resonated with you, consider subscribing and share in the comments below which item you are ready to remove from your home today. Let us continue this journey of thoughtful living together.